So now, what's next? The next section hitting the stage is the special panel discussion on what will the robots of the future look like, both by Ligalo Deyev, Alfredo Ezquero, and Rodrigo Gonzalez. Okay, and now let's connect with the platform 14 to have a good discussion about the robots of the future. Let's see if the hosts are ready.
We are preparing here, and we are all ready to start with this panel. And well, you know what happens. You have seen the Terminator, the Matrix, I Robot, Ex Machina. All those pictures, they are depicting a typical type of robot for the future. But are they like this? Are they going to be like this? So in this panel, we are going to discuss if that's a real depiction or not, and what other possibilities are for the robots of the future. Let's go with the next episode of the Robotics Insider. Okay, so here we are ready to discuss about this amazing subject. Here I have my colleagues, Rodrigo.
Hello, everyone.
And also Alberto.
Hello.
And here we are going to be discussing about this subject. Then we'd like to clarify before starting in the conversation that we are going to talk mainly about robots, okay? Not about AI devices. And you may be thinking, what's the difference? Okay, so what I mean by robots, I mean so some elements, some parts that have direct interaction with the world. That means that their actions have consequences in the physical world. It's not just a software that runs in a computer and everything is handled inside that computer. AI devices may not have any type of interaction with the world because they live inside the device, like the phone or a computer. So they don't have to interact with the world. So in this discussion, we are going to concentrate on robots. That those are the ones that can act upon the world. Great. So what is your opinion related to that matter? So do you think that the robots of the future are going to be like kind of the Terminator? Are we facing this future?
Well, it's for me personally, it's a like open question. We don't really know. But my general sense is that this whole uh, dilemma is going to. So I think AI robots, intelligent robots, will be dangerous depending on what humans do to limit this. So while building this, the constraints the humans do around it will determine what the behavior will be. I think for me personally, is the most general
Okay.
answer I can give to that.
So that if I understood correctly, your opinion is that it depends on what the humans we do.
Absolutely, yes.
But you mean but what we do by building them or by using them once they are built?
I mean everything, starting from like, you know, the people that will be working on these algorithms or whatever, and politically, what uh, what constraints are built by society to allow this or not allow this to happen. I know, for example, the most famous one, ChatGPT, the CEO after release, which is funny, that was after it was released. I think he went over to Congress in the United States to appeal for this, to tell the government that there needs to be a constraints in an organized manner to prevent AI from being dangerous and robots.
Yeah, but that's something. Now you are talking about political things, or
Yes, but I think it's
economical companies things, because they want, of course, they want regulation, so no other competitors can go against them. So they want to protect. Now they have reached this level. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but do you mean that this is something important, right, to take into account for our future?
Absolutely. I think it was to be the most important.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what do you think, Alberto, about this subject?
Yeah, I kind of agree with what Rodrigo said in the sense that it's going to depend a lot on us, and not by us. I don't mean the future us, but the current us, because we are already in a kind of a revolution with all these AIs that are appearing now and which are growing pretty fast. So I think it's going to be very important to establish some kind of limits, constraints, as Rodrigo was saying, in terms of ethical constraints and some red lines, let's say, that we should not pass uh, when working with AIs or when developing AIs, in order to kind of secure that nothing is going to go wrong. Let's say also there are many things that we should pay attention, like security for all these intelligent robots, so that we can be 100% sure that they cannot be corrupted, so they cannot be accessed in order to introduce some malicious software or make them do some bad things. But yeah, I think it's so our we as humans and as society and as developers, we are going to have a lot to say in this matter.
Okay, so thank you for your introduction about the subject. And then I would like to tell to the audience there that this is not just a panel discussion between us, that you can also participate by putting your questions to the panel, your comments, your opinions on the panel. We are going to be reading them and also discussing about your points. Maybe we are missing something. You have a very good idea, then please post it there. Feel free to participate in this debate about this. And what you have said is very interesting. You are more or less on the same page, uh, more or less, both of you. But okay, so this kind of regulation that you are implying to is a very difficult one, because it's going to uh, be applied to the it should be applied to the whole world, and then we cannot control the whole world. And actually also Alberto mentioned something very interesting, which is about somebody getting one of those robots that has been correctly built, properly created, but then they capture and then they modify, they kind of hack, like we are doing with our iPhones. Okay, I'm not doing because I'm a very good person, but it's joking. Then so we can hack our iPhones, our computers, and put whatever we want. And then what about creating those robots and then with following an ethical matter, and but then somebody else takes it up afterwards because they are crazy people that want to harm the world, harm the other people, and then they are going to modify and attack this. So this is going to uh, take us back to the square number one, which is, so all those regulations are very cool and very nice. So it's like putting a lock into your door. So you need to lock your door. But if a professional thief wants to get into your house, it's going to be getting through. But the door has to be locked, because otherwise everybody will be get inside. Okay, so the regulations, okay, but still we haven't solved the problem of the thieves getting into your house. And we are not talking about people getting into your house. We are talking about mad
Robots
robots.
getting
Yeah,
into your house.
yeah,
I think it's more even general than that, because you don't have to go in and corrupt a robot. Let's imagine a future, for example, in which people don't use it to harm the world; they use it to benefit themselves, and as a consequence, they harm the world. For example, a robot, you tell it, "Hey, go grab that safety deposit box." The robot doesn't know, that
yeah.
you're stealing it. So, or using it for scams, things like that. That's a more immediate danger that humans can use it if it's not implemented. If like that behavior, like the AI, the robot brain should recognize, hey, you can't do this. So I think that's more immediate than say the robot the Terminator that we saw in the beginning. Good looking guy for Terminator, by
Yes,
the way.
super cool.
Um, for that robot to think of something and create harm. So yes.
Okay, yes, and then you distract me with a comment about the good-looking guy Terminator because I saw some resemblance to, to you.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, we are. Let me just because I see that some people is posting here their comments in the sessions Q&A
Oh, okay.
section. I mean, you can write your thoughts or anything in the general
General
chat in
chat.
this case, okay? Because
Okay.
this
Yeah, I
is
was
not,
looking at.
it's not actually questions and answers. It's just like a conversation between colleagues.
Yeah, we would like you all to have you here, but it's impossible because you are
But
a
here
lot.
we have Edgar Carrasco, for instance,
Mhm.
who more or less thinks like us, I think. He says, in general terms, in my opinion, there is a link between technology and responsibility. This applies to many things in life and in many things that we humans construct or discover.
This is true. This is true. But uh,
Yeah, and
we,
Sebastian, in the same line, says, should an international agency created to regulate robot development like we do with nuclear things?
Uh, Quite unsuccessfully, might add. But
yeah, well, but that's not the same because nuclear things is a different matter. So it's something that requires a special equipment that can be detected in some cases, in most cases, if you are doing it even hidden. But artificial intelligence and also the spreading of that of software is super fast. For nuclear weapons, you have to actually move the physical stuff from one place to another.
yeah, I was talking more about like the difficulty of organizing an international body to do anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a definite challenge, and I think that's what people are trying to accomplish now.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. Can we do a metaphor with what happened in the lab in the cyber world? Well, we were in the in
Yeah.
the where we were in the coffee break, so we have the cyber lab there, and then all of you have to make the robot reach the point, but it's difficult to put into agreement.
Yeah, I saw it was really impressive though, because I
Yeah.
saw people are trying to organize, create a, a sequence. So that was really cool to see. We're-
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have here a comment from Takabarasha that says, I think open source in robotics will have a big impact towards the positive impact of robotics. But I don't think that all of those things, they are not answering I mean, they are solutions that we have to implement. I do agree on this, but they don't solve the mad guy that wants to have a nuclear bomb exploded here in Barcelona. So this is more or less solved because you can detect this guy moving in some ways. I don't know how it works, but they know because you have to move the plutonium and you have to buy certain things, and then this is all this. But for an artificial intelligence, so even a student could get the robot and then hack it and do it and become it mad. So again, we go back again to square number one. We have a crazy robot that is damaging there. So what do we do?
um, Will Smith taught us to pre-code 3 laws into every robot to prevent that. Yeah, I don't have an answer for that,
Yeah, yeah. But
honestly.
what if the person who built this, somebody removes the laws, or the person who builds it doesn't put this kind of law? Oh yeah, I now I got my train of thought before. You were saying some things that are about understanding. So you were putting the law, like mechanical laws for that robot that say, oh, grab that thing, and then the robot doesn't know that it belongs to you, and then it doesn't know that it's stealing from you,
Hmm.
right? But yeah, that's what I think that robots need understanding. That's not understanding. Everybody understand that you cannot grab that thing because it doesn't belong to you. Well, a child no, but he's learning to do this. So the same a robot. A robot needs to understand those things. Otherwise, it's just a machine. It's just a machine that you plug. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about
General.
robots. Yeah, robots that they really understand. Okay, that's get out. ChatGPT doesn't understand anything. Then again, square one. How do we solve this? Any problem? Square one means somebody has built a robot that is a machine for harming other people.
I
Well,
think
They
it's
live.
solved with regulations.
Okay.
mm. Or I go there and I kill the robot with the DDS disruptor, as I
Yeah.
did.
Exactly.
That's in the worst
Okay.
scenario.
Quite
Then
effective, as
yeah.
we saw.
Okay. So what if we have our own uh, um, line of policemen, police robots? So they are robots that capture mad robots.
Yeah, David White is saying that. He's saying,
Is it?
I think at some level we will have robots policing robots.
Okay.
And what?
So sorry, David, you said it before me, so the credit goes to you. Thank you.
Yeah, but in any case, what prevents anybody to hack those police robots? Also,
Oh, because they don't have access.
How? It's the same question for
yeah,
me.
I
If
mean,
No,
the
it's not. It's not. It's the same because those police robots are the same thing as strategic systems for your community, for your country, for
okay,
whatever. Then they have a special systems like the water systems that are in the cities. So they have a special, or the nuclear areas where the nuclear the thermonuclear
silos,
no, the place that generates the energy in by using nuclear energy.
nuclear plants.
Nuclear plant, yeah, I couldn't get the plan word. Okay, so nuclear plants, they have a special systems of security so nobody can get in because that would be the easiest way to hack a country. So something like that, because you don't have access to them
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good.
in this case, unless you have a DDS disruptor, as we saw in the in this. Okay, so the the point here is about the, so by using this kind of policeman, can we agree on having this kind of solution? So we have intelligent robots that can help us, but somebody else can generate an intelligent robot that wants to harm us, and for that we have police robots that
Yeah.
help us because they are as intelligent and strong and whatever their features that they have.
Um, yeah, but Fidel Carpaica brings up a good point, and
Which
I
is
think it's gonna coming up also in our discussion is the ability of a robot to eventually improve upon itself. And that's sort of the big question
hmm,
of what will happen when that's a possibility.
okay.
And I think it's just such an abstract thing, and it's there are so many possibilities to it that it's hard to assess how you're going to solve it.
Yeah. Yeah, but that point is very cool, and I
Yeah,
wanted to get into also have it here in our notes of the show, which is about the robot getting smarter and smarter, right? And then one time, then decides that it doesn't have to work for us,
yeah,
right? Because
or like in that movie, Her,
mhm,
they go up into the ether or whatever to because they don't want to hang out with us no more. Or uh, there's like the possibilities are endless. For example, for people that are interested in these things, there's an author called Ted Chiang, who is a computer scientist who's also a science fiction writer.
uh-huh,
It's really great, so I recommend everyone to check it out because he explores a lot of these possibilities. And for example, like the Her scenario, the bicentennial robot scenario, those things, um, or what if the robots start as children and we have to, uh, we have to tell them we have to teach them things, you know. So it's about the for me it's a really open-ended question. And
Okay,
it's
what's the name of the author again?
Ted Chiang.
Ted
He's
Chiang. Can you write it down on the chat for the
I write it
people?
down.
That Xiang. Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, some people are doing some interesting comments that say that Rodrigo went out of coffee.
Yeah, it's like my sixth one.
We have been here for an early time already. Okay, Ted Chiang. Okay, great.
Hmm.
And
Miguel is saying the best way to minimize all these issues is to create robots self-conscious and ethically cultivated.
okay, and yes, so and then so we still don't know, but how to do that. But let's assume that we can do that. Then still this scenario that you mentioned about the robot, like her getting bored of us because we are so stupid. It's like we are so stupid to them, and we are so they get bored and they want to. Then I think that this argument in this movie is exactly the same as in the Terminator 1 or the Matrix 1, which is the robots, they are, in this case, they are bored in her. In the others, they don't want to be slaves. So they feel like, oh, I'm a slave, I want to be free. And in all those cases, we are projecting our desires into, or our feelings into the robots. So, because why do we have to build a robot that gets bored? Why do we have to build a robot that understands the concept of a slave, of being a slave?
Like
Maybe he doesn't care.
it's being conscious, right? Because there's a difference for me between being conscious, which would be like I don't want to be a slave. That implies
No,
to
that's
certain point that the robot is conscious.
no, for me not.
For
I
me, it
think
is.
conscious is understanding the things, but another thing is that is like feeling this, that you are a slave and you don't want to. So you could be a slave and you could be uh, excellent slave and you could like it very much, and you say,
Super intelligent, more than us, and still be a slave.
okay,
Uh,
yes,
but this need, this want for me is that's where consciousness, for me, that's where consciousness comes into place. And I think there's a big debate of whether consciousness can even be achieved. You can have
Yeah.
intelligence without
yes,
consciousness, and we don't know what that really
we
looks
don't
like.
know. We don't know. Any comment, Alberto?
Yeah. No, I'm here.
Thinking about it?
Yeah,
Okay,
lost in my thoughts.
yes, so no problem. Let's check here. Stefan Luque says, as long as humans fight each other, there is no way to build a robot that can see what is wrong or right.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. And the soul and consciousness, sure. And
Hmm.
And what about, Beto, what about what Ruben Alves says, that says real consciousness comes with a soul, but robots have no soul?
Yeah, that's
I think that's a little more convoluted, a human question where religion and
yeah.
things like that come into play. And I think
Yeah, so far,
it's complicated.
Yeah,
innocent, you say.
yeah. One thing I do believe is that if we want at some point, and I think that's going to happen eventually for sure. So if we want to have robots, let's say, uh, uh, interacting with humans and kind of mix it with the human race in many aspects of life, these robots have to at least be able to understand human feelings, such as being sad, being mad. So they have to understand and be able to detect human feelings and react to that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be able to
The same.
feel those feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise, without this ability to be emotionally intelligent, I think that it's not possible to have robots mixed with humans in many aspects. So have them there in hospitals and doing kind of being mixed with humans. Yeah. So I think they have to be able to be emotionally intelligent in the sense of being able to understand human feelings. But yeah, but that
Doesn't imply
yeah, exactly.
that they have to.
Yeah.
They have to. Okay, Jen, I think that we are going in one tangent that is very philosophical and
Yes.
also getting, it's very, very difficult. I would like to go a little bit back into the points of the robots of the movies. Why they are getting always this picture of a robot that is super intelligent, then becomes then very intelligent, then decides that it doesn't want to work anymore for humans, and then the next step is that they want to kill it. Why does it have to be like that?
Because that sells, I
Oh
guess.
yes,
Yes, I
yeah,
think it comes into the nature of what people like to think about, and that's the most appealing one
yeah.
because it sells. Yeah, yeah, I agree.
It sells. Okay, so yeah, I have here the different versions of it, which is they don't want to be slaves. And then also another one that kill us maybe is the paperclip robot manufacturer problem. You know about this one? Is the
No.
one that explains Nick Bostrom in his book Super Intelligence, and then he says that robots, of course, they are going to conquer us, and they are the most dangerous things in the world. And then what he says is an example of a robot that you have built in order to be optimized and creating paper clips. So he will be like crazy trying to get those paper clips done. And then as they are very powerful, they're very intelligent, those robots will even do whatever it takes. So it needs to terraform or change the structure of this area and then take down all the buildings and the people there because it needs the materials in order to build a paperclip. And then it's like crazy, just trying to achieve this goal. This is
Yeah,
the
with a
typical.
goal oriented.
Yeah, it's goal oriented and then doesn't care about all
What
the
happens?
rest, all the rest because it's not inside its intelligence bubble. Let's
Yeah.
say. So that's another case of robots killing humans. Another possible line, or another one is we have already mentioned the somebody creates it as a weapon. So somebody creates a robot to kill other people. For example, one country to kill the people of the other country because they are in war, or an error occurs and a robot gets mad. That's the same example as the hacking the robot.
Hmm.
You do something wrong and then, well, so in all of them, then can we say, for example, that we can have like this robot police that can save us from them?
Sure, sure.
Can we
Yeah,
agree
you
on that?
could devise something, but that's already assuming that the scenario that the robots of the future will try and kill us is happening. And I think I'm a little bit more optimistic, and I think the robots of the future will be ubiquitous and they will serve our needs.
Aha. Okay,
And
that's the point.
I have a little more optimistic view about that. And because
Based on what?
based on my personal opinion,
Aha.
yes,
Okay.
and yeah, and not understanding really how artificial intelligence actually works inside. I know that ChatGPT is very impressive, but I still think there's a long way to go between a machine learning language model, which at the end of the day is just putting words in front of you, in front of each other, which makes sense. That's not really anything even remotely close to understanding
A
uh,
sentence.
why a child might be sad
Yeah.
and why I want to kill a human. So that's my reasoning behind it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So in that scenario, there's no robot police needed.
Okay. Okay. Great. Then I think I do agree completely with you on this point. I also think that robots can be our helpers in the future. And
I hope so.
vote, and I vote, yeah, I vote for that. So I work for that every day in order to get those robots that can help the people with special needs, or the people that are working super tough work. And so imagine these robots helping them to do that. So instead of getting into the dark mines, some robots are doing it. And yeah, and else.
Yeah. Even even then, the problem then becomes uh, a more present danger of that would be robots taking our jobs, uh,
Mhm.
which I think that depends on how it's implemented, like any other technology.
What do you think about robots taking our jobs?
Mm,
So let's say that we are building robots that are useful,
mhm,
that they are not going to kill us,
mhm,
but they are going to take those dangerous, boring,
mhm,
ineffective, and tasks that nobody wants to do. Also,
mhm.
so they are taking this, and that's good.
Yeah, it's
So
good.
what
Mhm.
what do you think about this?
Yeah. Well, I'm completely sure that this is going to happen. In fact, it's already happening.
Hmm.
So, what I think we should do is to kind of plan according to this. Yeah. So, in order to create a smooth transition from all these things that we are now doing and that in a short period of time are going to be done by robots, because right now it's like we just don't care. I mean, and I think that we should we or the people who is in charge of us, let's say, should start taking this seriously and start planning about this. And I don't know, for instance, I think that we need to kind of restructure a little bit the education systems, the education models, in order to
Yeah.
drive everything more to, I don't know, because having robots taking some of these jobs is going at the same time to generate other jobs, which is going to be, for instance, to maintain those robots working properly and so on. So I think that we kind of have to uh, plan accordingly and maybe restructure education from the lower levels and start redirecting everything to, I don't know, to more technological uh, um, teachings and yeah. So start adapting the upcoming generations to things which are more technological oriented than just raw. Uh,
Tasks,
yeah,
jobs.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, but this is already happening. That
Yeah,
other
that's
robots, they are taking the jobs, the technological jobs already with ChatGPT. I mean, he is one of the voted of the best ROS programmers of 2023. He's been voted by is one of the finalists. Okay, of the best ROS developer of 2023, voted by the community.
yeah.
So they think that ChatGPT is actually doing a good job programming ROS.
Hmm.
So what about those jobs also? Because I don't see with robots the replacement. So of
Hmm.
jobs, I don't see that. I see in my personal opinion. Okay, this is just my opinion. But what I see is that a tendency to try to tell to the people, okay, take it easy, don't get nervous, because other jobs are going to be generated. That's what happened in previous area times when we invented other things. But with robots, I think it's different.
How so?
Yeah, because they can attack the whole range of tasks.
Right. Yeah. I think it's a whole completely a political issue on how you're going to deal with that
Okay, so if you
transition.
get political, you
Yeah,
start.
no, like how organize it. The perfect example is I think something like 30% of the world uh, needs to drive for work. That's gonna go like drives as a main part of their work.
The, the
30% of the world. That's a lot of people. And eventually, when trucks and stuff drive themselves, that's gonna be a huge issue. So what you gonna do with those percent of the
People.
world, like roboticists have nothing to do with that. You know, that comes into like how we organize society to allow for people uh to live
Live a
a
life
life
without having to work.
without having to work. Exactly.
So that's a very good point. You wanted, so that's a very good point, and I wanted to discuss. The problem is that we have 1 minute left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that one run very fast, and I have a lot of comments here. I wanted to read from the people. Uh, so many comments here, and also some other points. Let me briefly just point this one is about the merging with robots. So we are thinking about the robots that are evolving by themselves, but we are not thinking about how these technologies they can be merged with the humans. So we can be including in ourselves robotics part, and at the end, kind of be a human robot, if I can say a cyborg.
Yeah.
So then we won't be outdated by the robots.
Yeah. So again, here, again, I think that we have to get a little bit philosophical and establish some ethical limits. For instance, I mean, is it ethical to use this kind of robotics prosthetics to to
To be stronger, things
to
like that.
improve the average human? I mean, to get faster, stronger, to be able to jump higher, etc. Is
Or to
this
think better.
correct ethically?
Or to think correct.
In my opinion, I am not sure at all. Why? Because allowing this is going to kind of divide
Society.
more
Human.
society,
Yeah.
because the people who is going to have access to this is going to be the rich people.
Yeah, pay to play.
So
yeah.
there are going to be like superhumans, which are the rich ones, and regular humans, which are the poor ones. And I think from an ethical point of view, this has many, many issues. But I do think that we should 100% use this technology in order to, in case that somebody has a disease or has a problem with his condition,
For his body.
yeah, so get healthy, but
Mhm.
get healthy to a regular human level, not to get
Yeah.
above
Good
a
point.
regular
Uh,
human level.
And it becomes even worse when you're talking about the mind, right? There's a
Mm.
huge, bigger, even difference when that happens because there'll be smarter people
Yes.
because they got
You
money.
can do nothing. You can do nothing because they are so much smarter, so much smarter than you.
Mhm.
Okay, guys, we have to stop here because we have other things to do at the conference, at the ROS Developers Day today. Then I think that this is the end. Maybe we can create a 2 hour or 4 hours discussion of this because so many comments on the chat. And thank you very much, all of you. I'm sorry I couldn't read all of them, and also some other points in the script for this episode that are left. Just let me recommend you the book, The Flesh in the Machine. Flesh and Machines by Rodney Brooks. Rodney Brooks is one of the pioneers of artificial intelligence, the creator of iRobot and also of Baxter Robot. And then he wrote this book many, many years ago about the merging, like the future of robots will be like merging with humans. Just so we have mentioned 3 books already, the ones of the that you mentioned before, Rodrigo, and the one the super intelligence, and this one, Flesh and Machine.
Awesome.
Then thank you very much, everyone. Now we are going to finish here the Robotics Insider podcast or the panel at the conference, and we are continuing with more things at the conference.
Let me remind you to open the fourth rosette. The one you can find in the Documents tab or the bottom right below this video window. Oh, you're very fast. Welcome back.
Yes, I'm coming from platform number 7.
Yeah. So now let's continue with the next speech. But remember to open the rosette. And before that, let's have before the speaker is getting ready, let's have some fun challenges again.
Oh yes.
What do you think?
Yes, exactly. So what is going to happen now is we have another contest or kind of contest where you can win one T-shirt of the conference and one mug.
One coffee
of
mug.
the Okay, this time is sponsored by Robotics. And then how does it work? We are going to put a video right now about the products of Robotics, and then at the end of the video, you're going to see a question that can be answered by watching the video. Then the first person that correctly answers the question on the chat, then will win the T-shirt and the mug.
Yeah.
Okay, in the meantime, we are taking this time to prepare for the next speaker.
Yeah, so let's go.
Let's go.